Yeah, so what inspired you to start a podcast?
It's a good question. I've always wanted to do it for a while, because I feel like with the podcast, you can always make good content, right? And I never like it to be scripted or anything. It's just regular conversation.
Yeah.
And then I don't know, man. I just figured it'd be good. You never know what could happen. If it gets big, you can make some money.
Yeah.
But if not, I use it to distribute good content because we live in the world of content. And dude, the next 5 years, if you don't have content, like you don't really exist. Like whenever you meet, like let's say you meet like a guy who does business or whatever. When I first meet them, the first thing I do is I check their social media, I check their website to see if they're legit, to see what how they are and what they do. And if you look someone up and they don't have like a social, you're like, oh damn, like you don't have anything to go off of. So that's why I did it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cheers, man.
To the podcast.
Podcast, man.
So on episode number.
Your episode number 2. Yeah.
How did you? So is this like mainly for real estate or
no?
No.
I mean, I do real estate, so that's what I know. I know that's what I talk about, but it's not just on real estate. Like one day I'm gonna probably have my brother on.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd
be funny.
We should do one of us 3.
Oh yeah. So I feel you've been wanting to do a podcast for some time.
Like be on your podcast?
Or one in general. No?
I just enjoy like conversations. So I didn't have anything in mind for me.
Yeah.
But when I saw you were doing yours, wanted to support, wanted to get on here.
Appreciate that, bro. So yeah, welcome everybody to ANTS podcast. I got Marek in the house. He's got Mari's on deck.
Yeah, I don't play games. You know how we do.
This is so man. So I read your book, man. I read your book or some of it, not all of it. Might not like I read the whole thing cover to cover, but I read some of it. It's pretty interesting. And how old were you when you wrote the book?
When I started writing, I think I was 19.
Okay. And then when did you finish the book?
Published when I was 21.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it took you about 3 years to finish the book.
Yeah. So I wrote it for a full year, and then the second year was mainly editing, and then I published at the end of the second year. But I wouldn't say it took me 2 full years because some days or some weeks I wasn't working on it, like I was in school and stuff and interning.
Yeah.
But 2 years to find that. Yeah.
And what made you want to do a book?
Yeah, no, dude. So I never thought I was gonna be a writer at all.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I mean, I can't even call myself a writer. But
I mean, you have a book, you can call yourself a writer, bro.
Yeah, but we'll see.
You're a writer, bro. You wrote for 2 years.
Yeah, but I like the theme or this idea of being. I don't know. So one day I used to play a lot of poker.
Mm-hmm.
Then one day, I had a very specific goal of what I wanted to do, and I was playing really well, and I lost a bunch of money that night, and then.
So you got hot.
Yeah. So.
And then.
Yeah. So I had my ups and downs, and then I sat down one day. I'm like, all right, if this is gonna be something serious in my life, then I need to make goals and I need to get serious with it. So there's gamblers and there's poker players, and those who take it seriously and those who don't. It's fine if you just play poker. And I was all right. I don't think this is gonna be just a gambling thing. I want this to be serious and see if it can go somewhere. And then I made very specific goals, and I was gonna be more responsible with it and actually take notes see what I was doing every night, record what I was doing. And then there was one night I was playing great, and then with poker, with most things in life, not every time you play great means that the outcome is going to be great.
Right.
And I just remember damn, this is one of the best nights, and just nothing went according to nothing hit, and I just lost a bunch of money. But for some reason, when I was driving home or when I was
it was one of the best nights or the worst?
Best nights of my play, but I was losing money. Imagine
how do you correlate that?
So if you're
playing well, statistically speaking.
Yeah, exactly. So I was doing all the right numbers. I was doing all the right moves, but I was getting unlucky. So the last card was messing me up or just quote unquote unlucky. But you can, for example, if you compare two games I love, like chess and poker.
Yeah.
In chess, if you always make the right move, you'll always win.
Got it.
In poker, like there's just so many variables,
and the human element too.
And then there's the luck factor, the risk, you know, just like with investing in anything, there's right, wrong timing.
When you play chess, you don't lose anything.
Right. Yeah. There's just
no monetary.
Yeah. There's less factors involved, or less unknown factors involved. And then so I lost a bunch of money, and then I just remember driving home.
How much did you lose?
Within the hundreds, nothing life changing.
So like 10 racks.
Yeah. So then when but for some reason I knew I was gonna keep losing. I mean, not knew, but I saw my chip stack going down, and I couldn't stand up. I just had to stay there till I lost it all.
Okay. And what got you into poker initially? When did you start falling in love with it, I guess?
Yeah, so I've always, like I said, I always loved strategy games. Growing up, I liked chess and those card games.
Yeah.
Like when I play FIFA, I like to play the manager mode and just get very into it and like the stats and the trading and all that. Got into investing somewhat early in like just the whole idea of being able to make money based on strategy. When I was growing up, I used to bet my dad like on soccer games and stuff like that. Yeah, and then I played poker one day. I think when I was in middle school, and I'm like, I knew that was for me. Just the strategy, but also the money aspect. And I mean, I don't know if you played, but it's like it's.
I'm playing a while, but when I first started, it was like I would play at least once a week. I try to get people to play once a week.
You know, it's an interesting game. I have my disconnect from it now, and I can see it in a different light.
So do you feel like at one point you were like addicted to it?
I would say, or like, I wouldn't say that because it's not like I needed to play.
Right.
But was I prioritizing that over other things? Yes. But I was never like, damn, I need to go play, and I didn't like, miss birthdays or isolate myself from the world. Which anyway, yeah. So then that night I just kept seeing my chips go down. And I couldn't leave, and then I'm like, damn, like everything we do in life, we always think human nature that we're different from everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
So like, if I think about going to, or for example, growing up, everything's going to be a professional athlete, and it's just human nature. You don't have the ability to step back and say, am I good enough or not? Right. You just naturally think because your default setting is looking through life through your lens that you're the special one. Yeah. And then that was me thinking, okay, I can be good enough to play professionally, but I was losing money. Right. And then there was a awakening of that, but also the realization that everybody else on the table was probably thinking the same exact thing. And statistically, most players lose money. Like for the way the casino wins is by taking other people's money. So like I started thinking, damn, like I'm in this room where everyone thinks they're different, but they're so similar. And then I thought of the first line of the book, which is the character admits. He's saying, I admit I'm walking into a room full of losers, and this idea that he's different. And then I don't know why I've never really, the most creative writing I've done was a grocery list in my life. But I got home and I wrote that line in a few paragraphs.
So you wrote that line?
Yeah.
From another book or just?
No. There's one of my. At first it was like I'll write about myself, but quickly turned into fiction stories.
It was after that night that you decided just start writing.
I got home and I wrote 5 paragraphs. Like,
but you didn't have an intention of writing a book.
No, nothing like. Dude, I didn't know anything about writing. Yeah. I couldn't write a love letter if I had a girlfriend. Like I didn't. I mean, I'll take that back. I can communicate well.
Right. But
I didn't know fiction, nonfiction, prose. When I first wrote, like I remember eventually, like when I started writing, I used to write dialogue in paragraphs. Like I didn't understand that you had to like indent stuff like that. Right. So yeah, I wrote those paragraphs, 5, 6 paragraphs, I think 3 pages. Mm-hmm. I showed my friend and I showed my dad. I'm like, I just threw this together, and then they were both like, all right, I want to keep reading. You know, like this is they were hooked. And that's the one thing I'll accept. I mean, I accept all criticisms of my book, and I've gotten everything. But everybody has told me whether they dislike the character, the writing, whatever. Everybody wants to keep reading to some extent. So then, so I wrote, and then that turned into 10 pages, and then 20, and then I'm like, all right, I guess I'm writing a book now.
Yeah, I think one day I think I saw it. You gave it to my brother.
Yeah, he bought it.
Yeah. Oh, you bought it?
He bought it.
Oh shit.
I don't give books away.
Where can you buy it?
Amazon, maybe.
Oh, Amazon?
Barnes & Noble, anywhere online.
What's up? Yeah. What's the book called?
The One Night Stand, Night with a K.
The One Night Stand. You heard that right?
So the story with that is, I used to play in this thing called the College Poker Tour, And
The college what?
college poker tour.
Oh, poker tour.
Yeah, there's this magazine called All In Magazine. They used to sponsor that.
So that was with your school?
So anybody can sign up with a school ID. Like you had to be a college student.
Okay.
But no, it wasn't. I mean, I didn't play at school. I played on my laptop against kids from all over the country.
And where'd you go to school?
That's when I was in Central Florida. But
UCF,
I ended up transferring to UNC. But in those times, I was at UCF, and then I was playing in the college poker tour, and I was doing fairly well. And because it was a magazine, there was also this like publishing aspect of it. So after every big tournament, there would be a writer that would write about the players.
Okay.
And then one day I went on the website and I read the weekly update, and it said, I think I can find the picture, but it'll take a while. But it said some guy was writing about me as like a poker player, and then he called me the one night stand because the mascot at UCF is the Knights. And then I won my first. So the way it works is you satellite into different tournaments. So there's a small tournament, and if you win that, then you're invited to the next tournament. So then you're playing against all the first placers, and then if you win that, you win against the nationals, whatever.
Okay.
So then I had won my first try in the small tournament, and maybe like the second time, so they said I only needed one try, so they called me just the one night stand. And then the idea of a calling in poker, just like a pun. So they said I didn't call I didn't call people back, and just took me one try. So that's how the one night stand was born. And I mean, at first I was like, that's weird, but dude, I obviously you're 19, somebody's writing about you playing. When I love that shit. Yeah, I ate that shit up.
Awesome. So, part of that was very interesting about the book was when you started talking about girls and how to get girls.
Yeah.
So talk to me about that process. Like, when did you, I guess, start developing the skill to, talk to women? Because it is a skill.
Yeah.
I mean, some people it's just natural, but for some it's not.
I don't want to go on here saying like I developed that skill fully, but so I purposely, so many people obviously write, there's fiction and nonfiction, and at the end of the day, people write characters where you can connect to.
Right.
I mean, what's your favorite book? Anything that's story-wise, or you read mainly nonfiction?
I mean, the last time I read a book, it's always like a sales book or like something like that.
And even those self-help books or sales, I don't know about real estate, and like how to financing books. The first paragraph or first chapter would be about their story and how they were poor.
I guess the one book that I could say I read almost 90%, for some reason I never finished books, was the Sell to Survive. And that was the book that actually made me go from working 9 to 5 to actually looking for a sales job.
Right.
And that was written by Grant Cardone, which is Grant Cardone, right?
I guess so.
So he's he sells sales training. That's what his main thing is, but he also owns a lot of real estate. He used to sell cars. So a lot of dealerships have his programs and his systems of sales.
Yeah, no, so my point there was every book has, even the nonfiction books, you can connect to the person reading of it. I mean, that's the point or that's a way to hook the reader in, is making you identify yourself with the person telling the story. And I wanted to do that, but I specifically set out to write a book where you didn't like the protagonist. Like it was someone that, while you maybe could connect with, you disliked, and having that dynamic still make you want to read about him. So being able to root for somebody, but maybe not like him.
Almost like what Jordan Belfort did, essentially.
So I a lot of that, I like the way that he talks to the camera in that in the movie. And then I don't know if you've seen The Big Short, but there's a lot of times where just the camera goes to the characters, and I broke the fourth wall a lot. I talked directly to the reader, or the character talks to the reader. So then I set out to make a character that wasn't likable, and then today's day and age, the first way to be not likable is be arrogant with women.
Yeah.
So then I wrote somebody that was nasty and like a player, and just said interesting things about women. And
got it.
Yeah.
So your book is a fiction or it's not fiction?
Complete fiction.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like the first paragraph maybe was, so every big event or most big events were inspired by things I saw. I wasn't talented enough to make up complete stories and make them interesting. But for example,
So you exaggerated.
Yeah. So the city that he lives in is called Mexton, which is just like a play on Weston. He goes to UF instead of UCF, and then the characters, for example, the girls are the character in the book is inspired by some girls in my life, and yeah, so it's fiction, but the poker hands I described there, I played. The characters have all been inspired by people in my life, but everything is exaggerated fiction, and I don't think I am the character in the book.
Got it. So I thought your book was like a autobiography.
No, not at all, not at all.
That's so real.
No, not at all. It's a novel.
Okay. That's pretty dope. Awesome. So you went to UCF.
Yeah.
Right? And you lasted, what, 2 years there?
2 years.
You got your AA there?
Basically, yeah.
Basically.
Yeah.
And then why'd you want to go to UNC?
I think you probably can identify with this, but you just feel like you've kind of, in a way, trapped, or you maybe already hit the ceiling.
Okay.
And maybe it was wise, maybe it was immature, but I just felt that I wasn't.
Somewhere else.
Yeah, I felt that I wasn't going to grow there. I felt that I wasn't seeing opportunities I wanted to, and part of that has to do with me fantasizing my life and thinking I was going to be rich by the time I was 25, and I'm like, damn, I'm not getting rich here.
Yeah.
So then I'm like, all right, I'll go to a better school. I'll go somewhere I could get challenged more.
Yeah.
And that at that point in time, my goal was to be in finance and be an investment banker. And those opportunities weren't really available at UCF. So then I looked at other schools, and UNC was not so far, affordable, not freezing. So
Okay. So are you still in school? You graduated?
I graduated.
Congrats, bro.
2 weeks ago. Yeah.
Yeah, I dropped out after like my second year.
Where at?
I went to BC.
Okay. What made you drop out?
Well, it was funny because I used to work at a bank, at a credit union, and before that, I used to work at Publix.
Yeah.
So my timeline is pretty much a bagger. I used to work in the produce, and then I went to work at a bank. But the bank was a credit union, so it's not a commercial bank, so there's no commissions. You can't make commissions there.
Okay.
Those were just working 9 to 5, and then that's when I read that book. I'm like, damn, like this is what I gotta do. Like I gotta learn how to sell, and then because I always wanted to be someone who owns their own business or who can control their own money in a way. Not saying you can't control money working for a company, but essentially you're relying on the company to be good so they can pay you, right? So I always wanted to, be able to produce for myself, not having to rely on a big corporation, right? So I was going to school during this time at the credit union. And then I'm like, all right, so I gotta go sell something. So I hit up a friend who used to sell personal training at LA Fitness. Squally, I don't know if you know this. Squally, shout out to Squally. Yeah, I think he's a little younger than me. He used to sell personal training, and I'm like, all right, let me call him, see what's up. So I call him and say, yeah, man, you make this, you make money, you talk to people, you work people out. And at this point, I wasn't certified. I just used to work out, and
The thing has always been a theme.
Yeah.
Okay.
Always.
So it wasn't like you're just
Right.
like a fat kid.
Exactly. And I guess technically I had a trainer in high school. We used to have a coach. I used to wrestle, so we had a coach who used to train twice a week. And then that's all I knew pretty much, which was pretty good because he gave me the fundamentals of working out and training. So then I interviewed with him, and then somebody else called me. Another VP called me. Yeah. So I didn't work with him, but that VP called me, and then I went to go work in Fort Lauderdale, and then I started learning how to sell personal training.
So was your role selling the training or actually training people?
So the way it would work is at LA Fitness, people sign up, right? After they sign up, they get a free fitness assessment, right? So that's when I would come in like, hey, okay, let me check your weight, let me check your body fat, I'm gonna ask you some questions, I'm gonna educate you, and then I'm gonna give you a sample workout. So that's what you do. You pretty much, it's a presentation, 20 minutes of talking, and then 20 minutes of working out, and then 10 minutes hopefully of closing the transaction.
Yeah.
So
And you ideally sell them for a few weeks or a month?
Normally it's one free session.
All right, but do you ideally sell them how long for personal training?
Oh, it was either they change it now, but before they had 3, 6, and 12-month programs. So when we're selling contracts.
Yeah.
So, and I was still going to school. I would do business administration, and I would do it online. And then I got to a point where I was like, why am I going to school, right? And I started thinking, I don't really know I'm going to school. It's just, my mom wants me to go to school, and that's what people do after college. After high school, they go to college. But then I'm like, okay, what do I want to be? I want to be a business owner one day, right? Okay, now
one day I was in class and I was just listening to the teacher, and then I had the book in front of me, and I'm like, this guy's just reading off of this book. Like, why am I here? And I just felt like for what I wanted to do, for what I wanted to be, I felt like I didn't need school. Or for me, I felt like the time and the money that I would spend going to school, I could use developing skills and getting into the business world. So then it was right before I got my AA, and I started going to school, and I just focused on working at LA Fitness. Then eventually I worked my way up to being a manager. I used to be the manager in Sawgrass for like 8 months, and then I thought to myself again, I'm like, hey, do I want to be a VP for this company of LA Fitness? Which you can make bank working at LA Fitness. A lot of people don't know this, but as a manager, you can make $100,000 selling personal training. If you if you could build, a good set of trainers, and if you have a good system going, and then and as a VP, you make $100,000 base, not including commissions or bonuses.
Right.
Yeah. Dro's manager just got promoted to a VP.
So VP means you're in charge of one gym?
You're in charge of like 10.
Okay.
Yeah. So you got to train, develop 10 managers. So it's hard. It's a lot of work. But you get $100,000 base. So Fitness, and their training is really good. Their sales training, depending who the district VP is, it's almost like a pyramid scheme. But there's an actual product. There's a gym, there's actual personal trainers.
Not a hierarchy.
Yes.
Okay.
Right? Because, like, as a manager, you have a team, right? I have an assistant and then a sales counselor, right? The more they sell, the more I make. The more that I sell and the club does, the more the district VP makes, right? And then there's a regional VP. So the better his clubs do, the more money he makes. And then a couple guys are getting it up in California.
Yeah.
But LA Fitness is huge, man. Like, they make like each club would bring in at least 100 to 200,000 of revenue. Because you have to think about the memberships.
Is LA Fitness a public company?
No.
No? They're privately owned?
Yeah, like you can't buy stock.
Gotcha. Yeah. And are they under an umbrella of other companies or not? They have.
Yeah. So it makes so much money. It's ridiculous. A lot of people don't think about this, but one thing they also do is they'll buy plazas because they are an anchor tenant.
Yeah.
Right. So wherever you see an LA Fitness, you're gonna see vitamin shops. You're gonna see a Starbucks. You're gonna see sandwiches. You're gonna see restaurants.
Mm-hmm.
So what they do is they'll buy land, right? Build their LA Fitness and then lease out to other companies. So they're huge. So I did that for a while, and then
in theory, if you worked hard, your path could have been all the way up to okay.
Yeah. So I was a manager for 6 months, and I'm like, okay, so do I want to continue and try to be VP and do that, go work up the corporate ladder? I'm like, no. So I was like 21 years old, making $5,000 a month, and it was good. But I'm like, this is not what I want to do the next, 10 years. So I'm like, all right, I got to do something else. I got to take something else. So then I quit, and then I started working with wholesalers.
Was that moment an epiphany or recurring thoughts that what made you?
It was like what? Sometimes you want something so bad, and then you get it, and then you're like, now what?
That's my life, bro.
So that's exactly what happened. I wanted to be a manager for so long. I wanted to be 21, making $4,000 to $5,000 a month. That's a lot. For me, it was a lot. I was working at a gym, so it's not like you're wearing a suit and wearing uncomfortable shoes. I'm wearing sneakers and joggers at work, and I'm making good money. But I'm like, I can't do this for the rest of my life. Like, I'm not trying to make $5,000 for the rest of my life. I'm trying to make 20 to 30 grand a month for the rest of my life. So then I quit because I got into the whole wholesaling of real estate. It was everywhere. This one was like huge. The whole we buy houses cash. So I'm like, what is this zero down investment? So then in the process of me trying to sell somebody a training package, he was a real estate investor. He was a wholesaler. He's like, oh, we're actually looking for salespeople.
What does wholesaling mean?
So wholesaling is when an investor, they call themselves investors, right? Technically, I guess they're investors, right? They find a distressed property.
Investment firm or
No.
Individual?
Individual investor, right? So the investor finds a distressed property. So normally this property is in the hood, right?
Yeah.
It needs a lot of work, and there's probably a tough situation going on in the household. So, for example, if a mother dies, right,
Mhm.
and then kids live in the house, now they own the property, right? So they gotta pay taxes, they gotta pay the maintenance and all that, and a lot of times they don't want to do that. They don't want to deal with all these expenses, and their mom just passed or whatever. So it's a tough situation normally. So normally, a wholesaler would go and, hey, we would, buy your house cash. We'll close in 30 days. Because normally in these situations, the longer that they have the property, the more stress it adds to them. And the more money that has to come out of their pockets. So what the wholesaler does is they'll get the property under contract. They'll say, okay, we're going to buy it. Okay. And then what they do is they flip the contract. They assign the contract to a cash buyer who's actually going to go in, do the work, fix the property, and flip it or rent it out. So a wholesaler is pretty much just a middleman who has an expertise of finding these houses that have potential to make money. So the person in the middle would make a little, like 10 grand, and then the flipper, he makes about 30, but he's got to put in the time, he's got to put in the work, he's got to get the guys to fix it up and everything. So I did that for a couple months, 8 months.
How was that?
It was good. I learned a lot. And if it wasn't for LA Fitness, I wouldn't have the skills to work at this position, because you're calling people, you're going to their house, and you're getting their house under contract. So I was like 22, 23, getting people to sign, I was part of like $100,000 transactions, and I'm like, damn, this is kind of crazy. Like, I'm under 22, in charge of $100,000 to $200,000 transaction. That's pretty cool. So I did that, and it worked out well, but then I wasn't disciplined enough, and the commission I was getting wasn't too much.
Why do you think you weren't disciplined enough?
I would show up to the office at like 10. I would get tired of making the calls.
So there's a downside of setting your own hours.
Yeah, it's not all being an entrepreneur. You work your own hours. Yeah, it's great. No, it's not. Essentially, you have to have a schedule. So
Being your own boss can be a dangerous thing too.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry, keep going.
So that happened, and then I had some other stuff happen within the company, and it wasn't what I expected. The training was okay, but it wasn't kind of what I was expecting. But when I made the move to work at this company, I wasn't expecting to make money.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't expecting to get rich.
Yeah.
I just wanted to know like how it works and what people are doing, and just to gain a different experience. So then I'm like, I still want to be in real estate, but I don't want to do it this way underneath a company. And me personally, I didn't want to have my own wholesaling business.
Yeah.
I don't know, I didn't want to do it. For some people, they do well. Yeah. And I think the people that I used to work with, they're still doing the thing, and they're doing well. That's what they do. And then, so that's when I went back to LA Fitness as a trainer.
Doing the same thing you're doing before?
No, now I'm just the actual trainer. Before I used to sell training, and then say you bought a package, I would hand you off to one of my trainers.
Okay.
And he would train you.
You could step below?
In a way, yeah.
Okay.
But since I knew the business of how to sell training, once I got back to being a trainer, just a trainer, I would sell my own deals. So, and that's the biggest issue that trainers have. Personal trainers nowadays, they're great at working people out. They're great at looking jacked and swole and putting up videos on Instagram. But what they're not good at is presenting and selling their own services. It sounds crazy.
Yeah, no, I believe it.
But that's the biggest issue with a lot of trainers. So when I went back to LA Fitness as a trainer, I worked the numbers, and I'm like, this makes so much more sense. In a way, as a trainer, you can make just as much as a manager, if not a little bit more. Unless the manager has a huge base of other salespeople that are helping him sell. But most managers at LA Fitness, it's just them pretty much. And maybe they have one other guy that's okay. And so I started killing it. I started selling my own packages. So I would get commission, and then I would get paid on the sessions that I service.
You walk me through how you find a client.
Okay,
What do you tell them?
so at LA Fitness, it was simple because all the leads were already there.
In the gym.
In the gym.
Yeah.
So I would walk up to you and say, "Hey, Marek, how you doing?"
What's your ideal client? Do you see somebody that likes training, somebody that's a little bit overweight?
For me, it was like from 35 to like 50-year-old Latina moms.
Okay.
That was my specialty. You got a little bit of money, you guys, and they want to look good. Like women, they always want to look good. So that was my target. I would, of course, present to other guys and anybody who would be okay with a session, that would be okay being presented to, I would present, of course. So I'd walk up to you, and then I would go through something called form.
Mid-workout?
No. Yeah, let's say you're on the treadmill.
Yeah.
I would walk up to you, and they call it form, right? So form is an acronym. So it stands for family, occupation, recreation, and motivation. So all of my conversations were very structured because when I used to sell training, the training was good. I'm gonna try to have him actually on the show one day. His name is Mike Hines, and I think he's the best personal training salesperson of all time.
Okay.
Dude, he would sell $100,000 of invoice in 2 weeks. My average was like 25 to 30.
And that's with experience, or he has it.
No, with experience.
Like he has talent.
He's a social butterfly. He talks good. He was just amazing. And so all my conversations after him training me, all my conversations were structured. So when you first walk up to somebody you don't know, in general, you can't just go straight to the meat and potatoes.
Yeah.
You gotta bullshit around a little bit. So you go, hey, how's your family? It's good, right? Oh, okay, your family's from here? Okay. You have kids? Oh, great, cool. Yeah, I don't have kids, whatever. Then you go through occupation. So in that gym, I would ask, so at work, do you work sitting down? Do you work standing up? How do you burn calories at work?
All right, I'm gonna cut you off because I'm really interested in this. So, what's your first? Like, you literally see somebody on the treadmill and they have earphones in, or
sometimes they would. Sometimes they would.
And what do? You say, "Can I talk to you for a second?" Or do you not ask the question?
No, I'd be
hey, how's it going?
I'd be like, all right, so let's role play, I guess.
Yeah.
So I'd be like, hey, how you doing?
Hey, Marek. I'm running right now, though.
You're running. You're on the treadmill.
Okay.
Oh, I'm Anthony. I'm one of the managers at the gym, and I'm just trying to get to know all the new members. How long have you been a member?
6 months.
6 months. That's awesome. Welcome to the gym. I'm glad. Well, I'm kind of mad that I didn't meet you earlier, but good thing I'm talking to you now. And Marek, do you live around here? Do you work around the gym?
I live in the area, yeah.
Oh, okay. Great. And then does your wife work out with you too?
No, she doesn't.
She doesn't.
A smaller boutique.
Oh, so she does work out, but
yeah.
Okay, that's cool.
Mostly young.
That's great. And do you guys have kids?
No, not yet.
Not yet. Okay, so you guys working on that?
Yeah.
Okay. Sounds good. And then, so I'm asking you, do you have a wife? Because if I get to the point where I'm going to sell you something, I want to know if you're going to give me the spousal objection. Okay, so now I know you got a wife, so you might bring that up. Oh, I got to talk to my wife, right?
Okay.
So then now I go to occupation. So Marek, at work, do you stand up? Do you sit down? How do you burn calories at work?
I'm usually standing up.
Oh, so you work more sedentary. Yeah, that actually, it's very common, and then it actually causes a lot of tightness in the hips and hamstrings. What do you do for work, if you don't mind asking?
I'm in finance.
Oh, so you're in finance. Okay, so when I need help with my money, you're the guy to go to?
I'm the guy.
All right, that's what's up. Boom. So there, now I know that you have a job. So I'm also pre-qualifying you. If someone tells me, oh, I work at Smoothie King. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, great. And then I would cut it short because I'm not going to waste their time and mine. And then recreation. So Marek, when you're not at work, what do you like to do?
I usually read or play golf.
Oh, that's awesome, man. I've been trying to play golf. I play at CB Smith. You ever go there in the driving lane? Never? Okay, well, it's not the fanciest place, but it gets the job done. And I'm also trying to build rapport. So, and then I'll get into it. So, Marek, what are you trying to do? You're trying to lose weight, you're trying to gain weight, build muscle, get shredded, get jacked. What's your goal here?
Just lose weight and feel a bit healthier.
Just lose weight. Okay, great. Well, I actually specialize in body fat loss, and I do a lot of functional training. Marek, when's the next time you're coming into the gym?
Probably in 3 days.
3 days, great. So that's Thursday. Now, you'll be coming in the morning or in the afternoon?
Morning.
Morning, great. So 9 or 10? What do you think you're
around 10?
10, okay. So when you come in on Thursday at 10 o'clock, I'm gonna run you through a workout. I'm gonna show you how to lose your body fat and how to get stronger and more functional.
So you don't ask them, you tell them.
No, you always tell them. You always assume the sell.
Okay.
So that's how I would do it.
But that first workout is free? That first,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. So then they would come in, I check their weight, their body fat, and then you go through the process.
And give me the funnel. So you approach 100 people. How much of those 100 people are you going to give the first workout for?
So the ratios would be 4-to-1. So for every 4 appointments you do, you should get one deal.
Okay. But of those appointments, so like of every person you approach, how many are gonna get to the appointment?
Okay, so yeah, out of every it was 50%.
Oh really?
I average like 50%. So every appointment I would set, out of 4, 2 would show up.
And what are there any like small tips and tricks that you? All right, this person is probably gonna close. I probably shouldn't do this first session with this person. What are some things that you learned with experience that were intuitive that you can quickly gather information with?
Like when dealing with a prospect?
Yeah, or just anything that maybe you spent a lot of time losing at first because you didn't realize this, or.
So one thing that took me a while to actually understand was the personality types.
Yeah.
So you got people like kind of like me. If you're gonna try to sell me, I just want the bullet points.
Yeah.
Tell me where I can benefit, and that's it. And if I think it's good, and if you just cut to the chase, I'll do it.
Yeah.
Most times.
Yeah.
If I need the service or the product. So there's those types of people, and then there's the people who want to be nurtured. So then there's the people who want to be like, yeah, we're gonna do this, we're gonna get you in shape. I know it's been tough for a while. People that you gotta kind of like talk to more and kind of like, kind of baby them a little bit. You got those people, and then you also have the people who are very numerical. So they want to see the numbers. They want to know how much weight they're gonna lose and how long They want to know. They want to know like all the numbers. Like I had one guy actually read the whole personal training agreement. I'm like, are you serious, man? And he read the whole thing.
We got technical difficulties.
Yeah,
This is real.
there you go. It's live and uncut, So that was the biggest thing. Because if you go straight to the point for someone who likes to be nurtured, you're not going to connect with them and you're not going to close. You're not going to do anything.
That's something, believe it or not, when me and your brother were traveling, that I quickly learned. Your brother, I didn't have a debit card that worked in South Africa. Your brother lost his debit card. We had no way of getting cash. So we had to go in a country where we didn't speak the language, we don't know anybody, ask them a favor to Venmo them or PayPal them or something, and them take out money from the ATM to give it to us. And let's say we're in Weston, we're in the safest city in the world, and somebody comes up to you and be like, help me out, I need a little bit of money. You might do that, but in Weston, you're still thinking like, this guy's trying to he's trying to screw me over. Yeah. Imagine that in a third world country where people are finessing everybody on a daily basis, where we don't speak the language, and that was it. Connecting with somebody, or if you speak a different language, for example, if we met somebody that spoke Spanish, boom, you just connect them on a different level. Yeah. If you understand what soccer team they like and you can talk about the players, you're connecting with them. That was. For 2 weeks, I didn't have a debit card. I was asking.
Did you lose it when you just got there, or?
Mine's a different story. I'm not going to talk about that right now. Yeah, but your brother lost his, so we were literally in a third world country, locked up abroad.
So what do you guys do?
So the first time we solved it with, we went to, we just started a conversation. We go up to this.
You guys have this whole plan.
Yeah, so. We're in an Airbnb, and we have no money. And the Airbnb is cooking for us. We're doing activities, but they don't charge us till the last day. Actually, let me back up. The first day, we're in Chiang Mai in northern Thailand, and we're buying zip lining, and it's $80, which is in Thailand is a lot of money. Everything in Thailand is like 50 cents, $3, $5. Yeah. And then so I'm like, all right, can I pay with card? Which is in Thailand, in Southeast Asia, they don't take credit card. But when it's more than $20, $30, they'll take credit card. So then he was like, no, we have to pay in cash. Blah, blah. So then for that, he was nice, and we paid him pretty much a ghost transaction where he charged us for $160, but he didn't. There was nothing there, and then he got cash from the bank, and then he paid the company for us. But like the hostel owner did that for us. But that was just a favor because he was nice. He was in the hostel. He had my information. If he had our passports, if he wanted to. But the second time we were in Chiang Rai, even more northern Thailand, we're staying in this Airbnb and we're buying stuff, but we have no money, but we don't pay till the last day. Then
buying stuff through the Airbnb.
So hostels and Airbnbs are everybody sells you. For example, if you want to rent a motorbike for a day, you can buy it from the motorbike company. You can buy it from a hostel. You can buy it from somebody on the street. But everybody's selling everything. If you want to get if you want to go to, for example, here to town center, you can call like an Uber. You can call a taxi. Or you can get a local to drive you and like you'll negotiate. So like everybody's like in this like world of touristy stuff, tourism. So everybody's trying to get in on it. So then in the Airbnb, they were selling breakfast, lunch. Like they would cook for us. But we can also rent a motorcycle from them. So whatever, we rent a motorcycle. We were racking up the bill. We didn't have any cash. We were gonna pay on the last day. So then we ride into the city. We go into the temple, and our plan is, all right, let's look for the whitest people here, and then they're probably the only people that are gonna have Venmo. Let's try to Venmo them $50 in U.S. cash. $50 gets you to like 5 days, and then so we'll Venmo them and they'll give us cash. But then we're in a very isolated, non-touristy place, so that didn't go well. Then we're walking around, we're in these shops, and then we start talking to this girl or this woman selling us scarves, things like that, and we're like, yeah. At first we just started making conversation, where are you from, blah, 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 and then so we built rapport for like 10 minutes. And she's like, oh, what are you doing today? Oh, we're looking for a bank because we have this problem, blah, blah, and then we didn't ask her. We didn't say anything. We already established rapport. I mean, we were getting there in the month, but we're gonna let her do the lead. Yeah, and then so she was talking, and so yeah, well, what we did last time was we paid like somebody in credit card, and then they gave us cash, similar to you. Still haven't asked anything. She's like, oh, let me see if I can do that. And then she looked it up, couldn't do it. She walked us to another shop, and that guy was able to solve the problem. But that solved me, 5 days? I was there for a month. So then in Laos, I had to do a different thing with, like, I would speak very little Italian. I met an Italian who helped me get in the same situation. In China, another Italian took me in a subway. Like, he paid for my subway card. Just like, when you're able to connect somebody, like when you're in a different country and somebody hasn't spoken Italian in 6 months and they miss home, and I go up to them and I speak Italian, like, boom.
They weren't from Italy either.
No, they're Italian, but they work in Shanghai.
Oh, okay.
He worked in Shanghai, and then I was
he was Italian.
You said a couple words. Yeah, and then boom, boom, boom. I mean, but think about it. If let's say, where are you from in Colombia? Okay. Is there neighborhoods in Colombia? Because Bogota is big. But like, here everybody's from Colombia. But let's say you're in North Carolina. Nobody's from Colombia there. And you meet a guy who's able to like bring up something up within the neighborhood of you're from, and then you're gonna be a lot more willing to help him than anybody in the street. So yeah, that was something that we learned very quickly, of being able to connect somebody quickly and able to before you ask them for anything. Anyway, yeah, keep going.
No, it was good because I've always been fascinated with communication. So I've read a lot of body language books. I've read a lot of like articles on like voice tone, especially when you're making sales calls through the phone.
Yeah.
Like your tone of the voice has to be good. Like you need to be strategic with the way that you tone your voice and how you ask questions. So that's why I like poker, because poker is a whole bunch of people bullshitting each other. They're playing together, but everyone's really gathering information to see how they can, win the game. Which in business is the same concept, especially in commercial real estate. When you're doing big deals, it's a lot of that.
Really?
Yeah, you gotta make sure you're thinking 3 steps ahead, because if you don't, sometimes they can cut you out of the deal.
Yeah.
Sometimes you may think that you're in there, you're about to close, the transaction, but because you weren't thinking ahead, they found a way to cut you from the deal. Because in commercial real estate, a lot of, especially like big buildings and stuff, it's off the market. Because, so for example, let's say you own this building, right? But you don't want the tenants to know. You're not going to just broadcast it that it's for sale, because it just causes friction with the current tenants. So what you would do is you would contact an agent like, hey, look, I'm trying to sell this, but I don't want my tenants to know. You can sell it, you can market it, but it has to be off the market. Like, you can't just put it on the MLS.
Yeah.
So those are hard because since you don't necessarily have a written agreement between you and the seller, if you try to promote this property to this guy and he finds out who the owner is, he's gonna go straight to the owner and be like, hey, I got the buyer, let's do it. And you don't have to pay a commission. So
It's not game theory.
it's definitely not a game theory. So
So you're back to selling training.
now I'm back to not training. Now I'm just doing real estate full time.
No. In the story, you're back at LA Fitness.
Okay, so back to the story.
Yeah.
I was back at LA Fitness, but I had a plan the whole time. My whole plan was to work as a trainer. The good thing about being a trainer is you control your time.
Yeah.
At LA Fitness, I was only required to work 20 hours a week, which I did a lot more than that. But you pick and choose the slots that you want to work. So my whole plan was to work at LA Fitness, right, as a trainer, control my own time, and then get my real estate license online.
So you like a real estate agent, or
Yeah.
you didn't have it when you were doing the wholesaling?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You don't need a license to be an investor.
Okay.
A lot of these wholesalers don't have licenses. It helps, but you don't need it.
Okay.
Because essentially you're buying house cash.
Yeah.
That's the whole concept. So then it took me a while to get my license because I was training, so I had income coming in, and it was fun, and it was, I'm training people for a living, so I'm not really working. It felt like paradise almost. Like I go to work, I was, again, wearing joggers and sneakers. I was making my own hours, making my own time, and making good money as a trainer, as a master trainer at LA Fitness. You're making at least $30 an hour, which is not bad when you can control your own time. It's not bad. So
That's
then,
something you enjoy.
exactly, I always liked it, and eventually I want to have my own like studio. Eventually, because I know how the whole business works, so why not? And then, so I finally got my license, and then it took me like a year. It took me a lot longer than I should have.
I heard about online. Episode 1.
Yeah, appreciate the watch, That's what's up. And then, so finally I got it, and then I was doing the training and then real estate at the same time, and then it got to a point where like I was losing deals because I couldn't commit 100% of my time into real estate.
What does that mean? You're doing real estate and at the same time? You're already here.
So I got my license. I hung my license with Keller Williams, but I'm still working at LA Fitness.
Okay, and what makes you choose Keller Williams? How does that work?
Okay, so when you get your license, you get interview brokers to see which one you want to work with, because you can only work for one.
And unbiased, what differentiates one house or one firm from the other?
Well, I only interviewed with Keller Williams, but I did 2 different locations.
Okay.
Yeah. The main reason why I chose Keller Williams because I have a friend who works for Keller Williams. I had a few people that worked for Keller Williams that I knew, and I've always known they were the biggest company. And in terms of this tech space, I feel like they have the most advantage than other brokers, because Keller Williams now has turned into a company who pretty much turned into a tech company.
Mm-hmm.
They're building a whole bunch of software. They're trying to control the data. So that's the biggest issue in the real estate industry for residential agents, is that the data is controlled by Zillow, Redfin, and a whole bunch of other, tech companies.
They want to bring that in-house?
Yeah, so now Keller Williams is trying to keep all their data in-house. So,
and will they sell that data to a different brokerage or no?
No, they would just keep it and use it for their agents to do better. But yeah, that's what Zillow does. We gave them all this info in the early times, Realtor.com, and now they sell it back to you. And then they target your people, because now they know what your clients are doing and where they're at, so they could just target them directly and take you out of the whole picture.
So what does it mean you're missing out on deals? That because you were still there?
Oh, yeah. So there was one transaction. A client wanted to buy like a $700,000 condo. And I'm like, all right, cool, let's do it. And I was going to work with them to find it. But for some reason,
South Florida?
yeah, in Boca. They wanted in Boca.
Yeah.
And just the scheduling wouldn't work. So like they wanted to go in the mornings on a Monday. I'm like, I trained during that time. So we could never really meet up when they needed to meet up. And there's a lot of realtors, you know, like I'm not, exactly, I'm not the best of all time. So they're just going to go to the next one if they see that I'm too busy or whatever. So I lost that client. And then after that, I'm like, all right, this cannot happen again. Because that could have been like 40 grand. Something like that. 700, 3%. It was 20 to 30 grand. So yeah, that I could have gotten. So then I'm like, all right, I'm not gonna risk that anymore. So then I went full time into real estate.
And so how long have you been here now?
Full time?
Yeah.
Full time since April.
Okay, and then what's the trajectory? Give me the best case scenario of a real estate agent. So you said you're making around 60K. Or give me the normal average. How long have you worked in real estate to be able to be netting 60K?
60K, well, like anything, it varies depending on what you do. But show up every day, right? If you prospect at least for 2 hours a day for 3 months, you're gonna build a good pipeline, right? And that's essentially the biggest asset that a realtor has is their pipeline.
Right.
So you want to build that pipeline so big that if you have deals that fall off, it's not a big deal. So it could be in 1 year you can make 60K. Like the first 3 months you might not sell anything. Even the first 6 months you might not sell anything. But from all the work from month 1 to month 6, you're going to talk to a lot of people. There's going to be somebody that's going to be willing to work with you. And you're going to develop the skills that you need in order to actually get clients. Because that's half the battle is 1, the mindset, and then 2, the skills.
You're risking 6 months of eating tuna.
Exactly. So yeah, I made sure I had money aside to be able to, go through the months I'm not getting paid, because I only get paid when I close a transaction.
Gotcha. And so your license with Keller Williams allows you to sell houses to individuals, or if I wanted to buy a strip mall, can I call you?
Yeah.
Okay. And you're focusing on residential or commercial?
Right now, mainly commercial.
Which I'm guessing is where there's more money at?
There is, but it takes longer.
Okay.
It takes even longer.
Less deals, but the deals are higher transactions.
Yes.
Okay.
But there's also, you could represent tenants, which those are quick deals. It's like doing a rental.
Okay. Gotcha.
So like if you want to open up, let's say a phone fix company,
Okay.
and you need a space, that's not that hard.
Okay.
I mean, you're not making 30, 50, 100 grand, but you make something to pay the bills.
And you chose real estate because at some deep level there was a passion of yours, or because you like sales and real estate was an option?
Yeah.
Can you sell? And someday, let's say Miami Marlins calls you and sell me like tickets for the games. Like, you want to do sales or do you want to do real estate?
So that's a good question. I like sales, and I understand that sales is almost everything. Or in my opinion, it's everything. But I would also like to have a company, like an e-commerce company that feeds itself, and I don't have to talk to prospects on a daily and do that stuff like day-to-day transactions. But the thing is, in order for you to build a good company or any type of company, you're going to need money, right? And how is my way of making that money is by doing sales. So eventually I want to get to the point where I made a lot of sales, whether it's, right now, commercial sales or even residential, because I still do residential. But my main focus is getting commercial clients. But if you tell me, hey, I need to sell my house, I'm going to do it. You know what I mean? So from making, sales over a long period of time, I'm going to have a lot of capital. And then once I have the capital, now I'm going to be able to play with my money. So I love real estate. It's great because of the potential that it could bring me. That's why I like it. But I don't want to be a realtor for the rest of my life. I don't want to, eventually I would like to buy some multifamily projects and then rent them out and make money that way. But in order to do those deals, you're gonna need money to play. You can't just you have nothing to show for. So you need the money, and then you play with your money. And what about you? You're doing finance, right? You
So
studied
I tried finance. I studied officially investment management, and then I had minors in statistics and creative writing. So I was kind of all over the place. Then I had a few internships within finance, like a hedge fund and operations and at a banks, stuff like that. And then I finally had this big internship in investment banking and enjoyed it, learned a lot, but realized it wasn't for me. So then,
what made you make the switch? I don't understand.
it's a good question. You grow up thinking when you get to somewhere in some place, it's gonna look and feel some way, and then when you get there, it's a lot different.
Yeah.
That's not necessarily a bad thing, but it's very eye-opening. And the finance is a great career and it's stable, but it's not the problem solving that I wanted. So you are part of large transactions and you're at the epicenter of what's happening in the world because, for example, let's say so investment banking, you're in the middle of these multinational huge deals. Like if a big company wants to buy a smaller company, like Amazon bought Whole Foods, there's a chance that you can be playing a small role in that through finance, doing the X number of things.
Right.
And that was interesting and appealing to me. But at the end of the day, it was what the role that you played wasn't any problem solving that I wanted to interact with every day. And getting back to as a kid where I liked strategy games and I liked these games where there's so many variables and you had to find a way or or in a way solve a puzzle. I didn't find that through finance. So then now I'm doing consulting out of college. So then moving to Chicago, doing consulting.
Oh, you're moving to Chicago.
Yeah. But I've never done it, so I don't know.
But you have the job already.
Yeah, I don't have a job.
So how'd you land a consulting job? Never.
Well, so it's an entry level position. So at UNC there's different recruiters. So in the business school you'll choose at my business school you'll choose a career set. So many people do investment banking, consulting, less general finance, marketing, whatever. And then through that they'll have internships, see what they like, and then that build a report and resume, and then finally hopefully get a full-time job. And then the thing with consulting is many firms don't necessarily hire through the internship program. They hire a general pool out of college. And then because consulting is so wide, if you have a general skill set, I think you can be within the radar of different companies. So because I did investment banking, I did some small consulting case competitions and stuff like that at college and worked at different companies and did different internships, and I was within the radar. Yeah. So
So a consultant, what's their main? I've heard of consultants, but I've never really dove deep into what it is they do and how a company would benefit from it.
So my best answer is neither do I because I've never done it. But the traditional answer is two consultants can work at a firm and do two completely different things because you can just be working on such a specific project. But ideally, is you're helping businesses solve problems that nobody within the company has that position or role to solve. So like let's say you have Keller Williams, for example, and they want to roll out this new tech platform, and then nobody within Keller Williams has that role or position to do, and then it might be cheaper or it might be wiser to hire this external party to solve that problem because I can either solve it in-house, but that might be too expensive and I don't want to hire somebody for just 1 year and then fire them, or it might be I want to hire somebody that has this specific skill set and then have them do it for me and do it well.
Right.
So that I can hire a consulting firm that will bring in a group of X number of people. They'll focus 100% of their time on that, and then they will get it done within this period, and they'll give you this recommendation on what to do. And then after that, they'll lead. It can be anything from helping a company introduce a product, helping a company divest part of the company, or a marketing campaign. So it can be really anything, and it can find yourself. Yeah.
Very interesting. So ultimately, what do you want to do What do you want to be?
I think I'm similar to you in terms of I've gone from A to B, and a lot of things have made sense, a lot of things have been appealing, but I mean,
Nothing has clicked for you. That's right. This is what I want to focus on for this.
yeah, I know I see different paths in my life, maybe consulting for a long time and then work my way up, or say, damn, this isn't for me, I've learned a lot, and be a writer full time, or saying that's not for me, or learn a lot in consulting and be like, damn, I know a lot about business now, and then maybe go start a t-shirt company, or maybe none of that and travel and then write about it, or yeah, but
So you're still writing? Is that something you still
yeah, so I was a creative writing minor, and I did that. I don't do that much on my own, like journaling. That's not really for me, but I'm finding a way. I'm seeing where I can take that skill set and hopefully apply to a wider audience. So, like for example, when I written about a lengthy article analyzing Mexico's performance in the World Cup through like the different years and seeing why they continually, yeah. And I did an article called "Why I Quit Poker" that's gotten a lot of feedback through online, and people have commented and stuff like that.
So that's like a blog?
No, so there's a website called Medium, and then it's just writers who can publish anything, and it's for free. You can read for free, and I published an article called "Why I Quit Poker," and it's gotten a lot of traction. Not traction meaning like it's been shared or anything, but I get about 30 reads per week, and then people, yeah. So I can see the great thing about that website is you can see the stats and whatnot, and you see like the click through rate. So how many people are clicking on it, how many people are reading it, and how many people are actually finishing the article. And it's getting about 50% people finishing the article. So
you don't play poker anymore?
No.
Why did you quit?
You gotta read the article.
Oh, I knew you were gonna say that.
Yeah, no, but it's adjustable in terms of it's like 5 main reasons, but the main A, it's like it's not profitable for most people, and B is it's not a place you want to spend your time at. Casino. It's just yeah. I mean, it's not a noble thing to be a poker player in my eyes. It's so appealing, and like in the Odyssey where you have to like you put wax in your ears so you don't get attracted to the island, but it's such a shiny and appealing thing. But once you get there, it's not what you imagine. I mean, it's great if people are good at it to make money. I would do that if I was like if I could, but at the end of the when I'm 80 or whatever, I don't want to have spent 50% of my life at a poker table.
Yeah. So at one point in time, you wanted to do poker like as your profession.
Not as a profession, but not as in 100%, but I dreamed of being in the World Series of Poker.
Oh, really?
The same way a kid would dream of playing the World Cup. It was a little bit more tangible because I was already in the higher stakes rooms and stuff like that. But it was never 100% for me. It was just, damn, I might be able to. Yeah.
Okay. So what was the most money you've ever won in a night?
It's not that much actually. So I was really good at making money, but I was better at losing money. And so like I stayed within the 300 to 1,000 range. So then anything from losing $300, $400 to making 800, 1,000. But yeah, so like if you're good and you make $1,000 a night continually, then you're set forever. But the thing with poker is, or for me, was making 300, losing 200, making 500, losing 600, making 1,000. I'm on top of the world. The next 3 days, losing 300. So like, the thing is, there's nights where you make, let's say in a great night, you make $2,000. You feel on top of the world. But then, I mean, when you spend those, the $2,000 runs out, you go back, and it's part of your bankroll. And then the next 5 days, you lose $200. Like, damn. So it's tricky. It lies to you. I mean, that world is lying to you because it's making you remember the times you won rather than times you lost. So like you anchor on those. Yeah.
So when did you make the decision? Like, all right, no more poker. Like, what was the, as they say, straw that broke the camel's back?
I think, similar to the book, it wasn't like this great story. It was just one night where I was driving home. If you go to a casino, the most quiet place in the world is the elevator on the way up to the garage because everybody's depressed that they lost money. And it's the most depressing.
On the way up or down?
On the way up, they're back to the car.
Oh, okay.
And there was one day I'm like,
was it after like a loss?
Yeah. It's always asked for a lot. And I just thought, yeah, it's not for me. Because I'm somebody that I can't do things 10% of the time. Either it's part of my life or it's not.
Yeah.
I do things all out. There's, I don't know if you're the same way, but there'll be 3 months where I'm going to the gym every single day. I'm drinking my protein shakes. I'm eating well, not drinking beer, just perfectly.
Yeah.
And then there'll be weeks at a time where I'm not going to the gym, drinking a lot. Not like alcoholic, but like I'll have beers a lot. Sitting around, not meditating, just like you let go of all these routines. So for me, it was either this is going to be something in my life, or it's going to be not. I got to go cold turkey. And just the way my mind works, I can't be in the middle. And then I'm like, all right, I don't think it's going to be a full-time thing, so I might as well not be at all.
My girlfriend always says, "You're always all or nothing. Why can't you compromise?" I'm like, it's just how I am. I either do it 100% or not really at all.
Yeah, no, and I think that's a lot healthier because you're giving your time to something and you're there fully. Or with your girlfriend, I mean, she probably appreciates that you're full time with her rather than not giving it. So
that's awesome, man. So, where can people find you, man? What's the website to the link of your the article with the poker why you quit?
I'm always a fan of promoting products rather than brands or myself. So if you want to read my stuff, you just Google Marek Garcia and then you'll find stuff. And
Google Marek Garcia and it'll pop up. Okay, and then the book you can find that on Amazon, right?
Marek Garcia, yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for coming, bro.
Thank you.
Coming by, appreciate it. Thanks for the marks.
I hope you enjoy them.
Hell yeah, man.
Next time's on you.
Hey.
All right, man.